Wow, this went fast, didn't it? This is the end. This is the end of Chapter 2 right now, and all we got to do is get through this lesson about scatter plots, and we're going to be golden. I can make my pen small. Alright. We're talking about lines of best fit, and when we're talking about lines of best fit, we're talking about scatter plots. And if you kind of remember, scatter plots come from t-tables where we have x's and y's, and maybe you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you have, 10, 12, 15, 13, 18, 25, whatever. And then you plot all those points on your graph. 1, 10, 2, 12, 3, 15, 4, 13, 5, 18, 6, 25. So that's a scatter plot. And you guys, I think, remember how to do that. If you have a scatter plot with a positive correlation, it's going to look something like this one, where everything looks to be going in an up direction. Okay? So that has positive correlation. Can't get that picture to move. Alright, sorry about that. I just got to scoot that out of the way. I couldn't get it to cooperate. When you have this line, this positive correlation, that means it's going up. Okay? When we have a negative correlation, that means it's going down. Get my pen not to be so fat. A correlation coefficient is a number between -1 and 1 that tells you how well your line fits the data. If it's going up, the line is going to be positive. If it's going down, the line is going to be negative. And the different numbers we have to our disposal at this point is -1, -0.5, 0, 0.5, and 1. So all the positive correlations will be on this side, all the negative correlations will be on this side. And the line of best fit, that's simply like this here. I'll let go of it in case I can't move it again. This line of best fit is I just eyeball when I put my line through the middle of this. Now I look, there's certainly a correlation here. It looks like things are going up between quality and price. It's not real tight, and so if it's not real tight, I might be thinking that my correlation there we go. My correlation coefficient might be something more like 0.5. It's going up, but it's not super tight. So let's take a look at these other ones we have here. On these other ones that I'm looking at, we have the first one. It looks pretty tight. My line's going right through there, but it's negative. So it's negative, and my correlation coefficient is probably going to be like -1. On the B, when I put my line through there, it's positive, but it's not super tight. So it's probably somewhere between 0 and 1, like a 0.5 correlation. Alright, so here we're approximating lines of a best fitting line. And so the first thing you have to do is you're going to draw a scatter plot. And so you're going to put in all those dots, scatter plot. And then you're going to sketch the line that appears to fit it. So if we're doing this and we got a bunch of dots here, you're going to just draw a line right through there and say, oh, that looks about right. Okay? You shouldn't have, there should be just about as many points above it as below it. So I don't know, I threw that one together pretty quick, but I got 1, 2, 3, 4 above, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 below. So that's about the same. You're going to choose 2 points that are on the line, and then you're going to write an equation for those 2 points. And just like we've done in the past, you know how to write an equation, find the slope and all that stuff. The table below is the people who have attended each of the first 7 football games, 7 football games X of the season. Approximate the line for best fit. Now, I just put this Michigan 113,000 people in the big house. That's pretty crazy. That's a lot of people there. So the first thing we have to do is draw a scatter plot. So we have to plot all of those points. 1, 722, 2, 763, 3, 772, 4, 826, 5, 815, 6, 857, 7, 897. So it looks like we have a positive correlation here. Okay. Now if I take my line and I run it through all of those, all of them, that, I have to choose a couple of points that it went through and then do the correlation. Now your book here wanted me to choose the first point, which is fine, 1, 722. That's fine. But I'm not going to pick the second point there. I'm going to choose maybe that last point. It looks like I went right through that last point, which was 7, 897. So I'm going to go with that. And I'm going to find the slope. So I'm going to do 897 minus 722, which is 175. Divided by 7 minus 1, which is 6. And 6 is going to go into 175, 29.16 or something like that. So if I put 29.16 in as my M, and then I use my equations, y minus, I'll use, sorry, that was 7 minus 1 here. I'll use my first point, y minus 722 and x minus 1. And if I put that together, I ended up with something like 29.16x. That's kind of my slope. That's the average of how much these games were growing by. And at 0 games, meaning my y-intercept right over here, I should have been somewhere around, I don't know, 692, somewhere in there. So let's call it 692. And that looks about right. That looks about 692 is a good approximation. And then it says an approximation of the best fitting line is, and that's that 29.16x plus 692. 29.16x plus 692. Write that down somewhere. 29.16x plus 692. I need that. Use the equation of the line of best fit, and this is what they do, to predict what's going to happen in the next game. Example, to predict how many people will attend the 10th football game, 10 games. So we're going to substitute 10 for x. We're going to put 10 times 29.16, which is 291.6. 291.6 plus 692 is going to get me that how many I predict. Would this be a good skill to have, right? Predicting how many people are going to show up to the next game. Sure it would. Maybe you're selling T-shirts or hot dogs or concessions. How many bathrooms we're going to need, all of that stuff. This is important. So 983.6. So we're saying, oh, I predict there's going to be a record crowd there of almost 1,000 people. Hey, concession stand workers, make sure you have that many more hot dogs, or make sure you have, as we go. All right, you guys go ahead and do checkpoint 1, 2, and 3, and see what you do. Pause it, and see what you have. I put a little picture of Falcon Stadium over here. All right, are you ready to go? Let's see what you got. Hopefully you saw that this was a positive correlation, pretty close to 1. And maybe you saw that this was really, these dots here, really no correlation at all. I don't see any correlation that I can make positive or negative. And if there's no correlation, it's going to be a 0 correlation coefficient. And on the last one, this is the one we're going to talk about tomorrow. So hopefully you had something around y equals 1.3x plus 82.1. And we predicted around 94, 95, 96, somewhere in there. Hopefully you plotted all your points. I'll plot some of those points real quick. 3 would be right up here, and 4 here, comes here, and 6 was right up here. And hopefully you drew your line through there and pick 2 points that you went through. It looks like I went through the 3 and the 6, so I would find these 2 points and find it in there. I didn't use those 2 points for this answer, but you know, whatever 2 points you picked, your answer should be in the ballpark. It doesn't have to be exact, it has to be in the ballpark. All right, thanks a lot, folks.